We have a very special guest in the studio with us, live this evening. He's Sheikh Musafir Efendi, a visiting dervish master from Istanbul. We'd like to ask him to at least begin the conversation this evening by talking about the teachings of Islam, about the responsibility of human beings to care for each other in the most concrete ways, and that would certainly begin with a question of feeding, of food. Sheikh Musafir, can you explain the teachings of Islam about the responsibility to care for the needs of others?
İslam dininde başkalarının ihtiyaçları için, başkalarının ihtiyaçlarını tedariki için Müslümanın ne gibi mükellefiyetleri olduğu konusunda bize bilgi verir misiniz?
İman kadar mühim. Allah'a iman kadar mühim.
The subject is as important as having faith in God, in Allah.
Çünkü el eledir, el hakkadır.
Because one hand is on top of the other, from hand onto hand it reaches God, Allah, the ultimate reality.
Kula ikram, fakire, mühtaca ikram, Allah'a ikram gibidir.
Offering and catering for the poor and the needy is like offering to Allah.
Yalnız İslam'ın 5 şartından birisi olan zekatın verilmesi için Kur'an'da 83 yerde Cenab-ı Allah bu emri tekrar eder bizlere.
Almsgiving is one of the 5 essential pillars of Islam. And in the Quran, it is mentioned, the giving of alms is mentioned in like 83 places.
O sadakat ve yardım, onlar da ayrı.
Charity, help, that's different. That's in addition to almsgiving.
Evet, mühim, çok mühimdir.
This is a very important
Yani
subject.
İslam'da bir adam zekatını vermese, namazını kılsa, onun namazı makbul değildir.
If a Muslim performs his ritual prayers, but does not give alms, his prayers won't be accepted.
Ama aç kalmayan açın halinden ne bilir?
But those who have not been hungry themselves won't know what hunger is and in what a state the hungry people are.
Hasta olmayan hastanın halinden ne bilir?
The healthy won't know what the sick feel like.
Evinde kaloriferi ateşi olan kimse soğukta oturanın halini ne bilir?
And people with fireplaces and central heating in their homes do not really know what it's like to be out in the cold.
Sırtında paltosu olan paltosu gezenin halini ne bilir?
A man with an overcoat on his back doesn't know what it is like to go around in the cold with inappropriate clothing that does not warm you.
Ayağında ayakkabısı olmayan kimse kış gününde kara bastığı vakitte ayağında ayakkabısı olan, ayağı sıcak olan adam ayağı üşüyenin halinden ne haberdir? Bir haberdir.
The man with comfortable shoes on does not know what it feels like to step on snow because of necessity with bare feet.
O bir zevktir.
There's a taste to it.
O zevkte tarif olunmaz.
And this taste cannot be described, expressed.
Yani acı doyurmak bir zevktir.
The taste is in feeding the hungry, the needy.
Suza su vermek bir zevktir.
Giving water to the thirsty is a pleasure.
Ağlayanın gözünün yaşını silmek bir zevktir.
To wipe the tears of a crying person is pleasure, has a taste to it.
Bu zevk kelimatla ifade edilmez.
And this pleasure cannot be expressed with words.
Ancak bu zevki tatan bilir.
Only those who have tasted it know it.
Kör için renk, sağır için ahenk olmadığı gibi
Just as there are no colors for the blind and no harmony, no musical harmony for the deaf,
yoksulu sevindiren ancak bu zevke varabilir.
only those who know what it is like know what is feeding the poor.
Yetimler, yoksullar, kimsesizler, ev barkı olmayanlar, yiyecek ekmeği olmayanlar, içecek suyu bulunmayanlar, bunları aramak ve bulmak elbette insanlık vazifesidir.
Orphans, men in dire poverty, homeless people, sick people, to search them out and find them and provide them with whatever they need is the duty of humankind.
Zahirde insan olup, batını da insan olanlar, muhakkak kendi hemicinslerine ve hatta küreye artta bulunan her şeye merhamet eder.
Those who are human beings, both externally and inside as well, have affection and compassion towards their kind, fellow human beings, plus all the creation.
Bir çiçeği koparmaz,
They will not pick up a single flower,
bir yaprağı yerinden oynatmaya hiç kıyamaz.
would not dare touch a single leaf.
Bir kalbi kırmak,
And think about breaking a heart. That's simply impossible.
bu insan işi değildir.
This is not the thing to do for a human being.
Aynı böyle olduğu gibi açları doyurmayan da zahirde insan görünür.
Just as it is so, those who would not care for feeding the poor are human beings only externally, not inside.
Acı doyurmayan zengine sorarız. Elindeki mal ebedi mi kalacak?
We'll ask the rich man who would not care for feeding the poor. Will he keep his possessions eternally?
Hep aç kalanlar hep aç değildi. Onların da cetleri, babaları zengindi. Allah mülkü verdiği gibi aldı, onları aç bıraktı.
Poor families were not poor all the time throughout history. Maybe their ancestors were rich, but their ancestors lost their property, and their offspring became poor, and Allah, who is well capable of making people rich or poor, maybe will take away the possessions of the rich.
Malından mülküne güvenenlerin elinden bir gün bal çıkıverir de onlar da aç kalırlar.
And maybe one day, the possessions of people who take pride in their property, in their worldly possessions, will simply be left out without them.
Hesabım sağlam, ben fakir olmam. Garantiye paramı yatırdım diyenlere de şöyle hesap ediyoruz ki bunlar da bilsinler ki yakın bir zamanda bütün malik olduğu emlakları ellerden çıkacaktır.
Those who would think that I've got sound investments, I've done my calculations well, I've done my arithmetic, but one day they will definitely lose their property through simply their own debts.
Ancak bir kefenle, bir elbiseyle kabire giderler.
And they will be buried with a shroud, and maybe some clothes on, in a coffin maybe, nothing else.
Seve seve topladıklarını
That they have gathered with love,
vermeye kıyamadıkları paraları sevdiklerine kalır.
and all this money that they have piled up with great affection will be left to those people who do not love them.
Bu bir adetullah'tır.
And this is the tradition of God. This is how Allah works.
Allah fakire yardım edeni sever.
Allah loves those who help the poor.
Allah bir kulu sevdi mi o kul da Allah'ı sever.
When Allah loves a servant of His, that very servant loves Allah too.
O vakit Allah kulu sevdi mi kul aziz olur, mükemmel, kamil, mükemmel bir insan olur.
When a servant is the beloved of Allah, he becomes mighty, perfected.
Yapılan yardımlar ve sadakatler insanların vücudunun malını da korur, kalkan gibidir.
And the alms and the charities that are offered by people are like shields protecting their own bodies physically.
Belaları dua ile, hastalığınızı sadaka ile temin edebilirsiniz diyor Peygamber.
The Prophet Muhammad aleyhisselam says, you can protect yourselves from troubles through prayers and your health through charity.
Sadaka terüttül bela ve tezyidül umur. Yani sadaka belayı def eder ve ömrü uzaltır diyor. Yardım yani sadaka yardım. Fukaraya yardım.
The Prophet says, sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem, that charity chases away trouble that's coming your way and extends your life.
Vermiş olduğu bir kuruşa Allah, $1 sadaka olarak verdiği $1 en aşağı 10 misline verecek. Veyahut da 70 misline verir. Ve 700 misline verebilir.
For each cent, each dollar that's given away as charity, Allah will give 10 in return. That is the absolute minimum, 10 in return. That might well be 70 or 700-fold.
Bu şekilde fukaraya yardım eden kimseler paralarını Allah bankasına koymuş demektir.
I mean, people who give away their possessions as charity are like they are depositing their money in Allah's bank. And that's the soundest bank.
Orada feizi artar onun.
And it increases there. It does not stay there.
birken 70 olur.
Starting with 1, it multiplies into 70-fold.
70 iken 700 olur.
While 70, it becomes 700.
Bir gün gelir ki mal, mülk, kasa, kesse menfaat vermediği günde o vermiş olduğu sadakat önüne çıkar, ona nur olur.
And a day will come when your property, your possessions, what's in your safe vault won't matter anymore. And then, on that day, the day of our deaths, what we have given away as charity will become light in front of us, to guide our way, to enlighten our path.
Sadaka belayı def eder demiştim. Onun hakkında size bir kıssa anlatayım.
I have mentioned earlier that giving charity chases away trouble that's coming your way. Now I'll tell you a story on this subject.
Yani hikayeler ve kıssalar kopirme ilaç gibidir.
Stories are like medication, tablets of medication.
Bir köylü kadını yemek yiyordu, elinde son lokması kalmıştı.
A peasant woman was eating, and she had in her hands her last bite.
Bir fakir geldi, açın bana o lokmayı ver dedi.
And a poor man came up to her and said, I'm hungry. Will you give me the food that you've got in your hands?
Bu kimsenin aortlar birbirine geçmiş, gözleri çökmüştü.
His cheeks were withdrawn, the cheeks of the man who was asking, and his eyes had kind of popped out of hunger.
Yüzü sararmıştı.
And he
Elleri
was pale in the
titriyordu.
face, and his hands were shaking.
Köylü kadın dedi ki ona, bende vallahi bir lokma var, bundan başka bir şey yoktur evimde. Son lokmayı da sen geldin, istersen bunu al dedi.
And the peasant woman said, I don't have anything else but this single bite of food that I have in my hands. I don't have anything else to eat, but if you want it, you'll take it.
Fakir bunu kabul etti.
The poor man accepted it
Açtı çünkü.
because he was hungry.
Helak olacaktı.
He was going to be ruined unless he ate.
Aldı lokmayı yedi ve dedi ki, Allah sana bu lokmanın mükafatını versin. Senin üzerine gelecek olan kaza ve belayı def etsin.
The poor man ate what was there to eat, and he prayed to the peasant woman, may Allah make you see the reward of your charity, and may trouble coming your way be chased away through your good deed.
Ve oradan ayrıldı gitti.
And the beggar left the place and went
Mesul
away.
olmuştu fukara. Bir lokma yere.
But having eaten only a single bite, he was very pleased.
Fukaranın mesruriyeti Allah'ın da mesruriyetine muciptir.
The content of the poor, the satisfaction of the poor is like the satisfaction of Allah.
Ertesi günü köylü kadın kocasıyla beraber tarlaya gittiler.
The following day, the peasant woman went to work in their fields with her husband.
Aşklarının bir semeresi vardı, ufak bir yavruları vardı. Henüz kundaktaydı.
The fruit of their love was a baby, still wrapped up.
O çocuğu bir ağacın gölgesine bırakıp tarlaya girdiler. Kocası tarlayı biçiyor, ekini, kadın da onları toplayıp demet yapıyordu.
They left the baby under the shade of a tree. They entered the field and they were working there. The man was reaping and the woman was gathering together.
O aralık bir aç kurt geldi.
And there appeared on the scene a hungry wolf.
O anayla babanın gözünden saklanarak o yavruyu kaptı, aldı kundaklanan çocuğu.
Hiding well from the sight of the parents who were working in the field, he grabbed the baby, wrapped up in clothes, and started running away with it.
Bunu gören anam baba kurdun peşine düştüler.
The parents fell after the wolf, chasing the wolf.
Evlatları gidiyordu.
Because it was their kid that was being taken away.
Aşklarının semeresi gidiyordu.
The fruit, the outcome of their love, their marriage.
Ömürlerinin meyveleri gidiyordu.
The fruit of their lives, their very lives.
Evladını kaybeden bir anneyi düşün.
Think of a mother who's lost her child.
Evladının yoluna bakan bir babanın halini bir izan et.
Think of a father waiting, maybe anxiously, for his child to return home.
Bir süratle, bir telaşla, bir heyecanla kurdun peşine düştüler.
In great excitement, enthusiasm, and haste, they were running after the wolf.
Kurt çocuğu kundağından götürüyor, kaçırıyordu. Ve o aralık karşılarına bir zat çıktı. kurdu tuttu, aldı, kurdu yere vurdu ve çocuğu kurdun ağzından alıp oraya koydu ve şöyle seslendi. Dünkü lokmaya bugünkü lokma bedel oldu dedi.
And while they were chasing the wolf, who had the baby between its teeth, there appeared a strange man that grabbed hold of the animal, took the baby away, and hit the animal, hit the beast against the ground, thus saving the life of the baby. He said to the parents who were exhausted, "Today's bite was well worth the bite of food that you gave to the poor man yesterday."
Bir gün vermiş oldukları bir lokma, kurdun lokması olan çocuğu halas etmiş ve kurtarmıştı.
A bite of food that they had given away, that the lady had given away, had actually caused the salvation of the baby, salvation from being a mouthful of food for the wolf.
Kalplerinde merhamet ve şefkat olanlar,
Those who have compassion and mercy in their hearts
merhamet ederler.
have compassion.
Kalpte merhamet ve şefkat olmayan merhameti ne bilir?
Only these people show compassion. Those who do not have compassion in their hearts won't know how to show compassion.
Onun için Resul-i Ekrem gene buyurur ki irhamu men fil ard, yani küre artta bulunan mahlukata merhamet edin. Yerhamukum fis sema, Allah sizi ne yapsın? Size rahmet ve merhamet etsin.
And the Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam again says in a hadith that we should have compassion upon those who inhabit this earth, and Allah then will have compassion upon us.
Bir kısa da anlatayım.
I will tell you another story.
Peygamber-i Zişan sallallahu aleyhi ve selleme iki genç geldiler. Kız ve erkek yani. Ölmek istediklerini söylediler.
There came two young people, a young man and a young girl, to the glorious Prophet one day.
Efendimiz onların nikahlarını kıydı.
They asked to be united in marriage, and our master, the master of the universe, performed their nuptial ceremony.
İki aşık mesrur ve memnun olarak evlerine döndüler.
The two lovers returned to their homes, very glad, elated, happy.
Peygamber dedi ki bu çocuk bu akşam ölecek dedi.
And the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the bridegroom is going to die tonight.
Tabii peygamberin eshabı şaşırdılar.
And the companions of the Prophet, they were surprised.
Müteessir oldular.
And they were sorry to hear that.
Sabahleyin o delikanlı camiye geldi. Namaza geldi. Ölmemişti.
And in the morning, that young man who had got married the previous day came to the mosque of the Prophet, alive and in good health.
Camide gören peygamberin arkadaşları çocuğu hayatta gördüler, şaşırdılar. Peygamber böyle söylemişti, halbuki çocuk ölmemişti, gelmişti.
The companions of the prophets who were in the mosque were really surprised this time. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had predicted the death of that very man, and there he was, apparently in good health.
Peygambere bir şey soramadılar ama bir çocuğun yüzüne baktılar, bir de peygamberin yüzüne baktılar.
They would not dare put a question to the Prophet, but they looked at the Prophet's face and then stared at the kid's face.
Efendimiz anlamıştı eshabın kendine baktığını, çocuğa baktığını.
Our master, the Prophet, surely knew what those stares meant.
O çocuğa dedi ki evladım yatağını kaldırdın mı dedi.
And he said to that young man, "Did you lift up your mattress?"
Kaldırmadım ya Resulallah dedi.
"No, O messenger of Allah," said the young man.
Zira namazı kılıp dua edip gene sevgilimin koyununa gideceğim, beraber yatacaktık. Onun için kaldırmadım, duruyor bekliyor.
Because having come to the mosque to perform the prayers, I was going to go back to my home and enter my bed to the side of my beloved.
Dünyanın güzel kızını görüp de Allah'ın ibadetini unutmadım. İbadete geldim, gene ailemin koyununa döneceğim dedi.
Being with a worldly beauty did not make me heedless of affection, love towards Allah. I am here to perform my prayers, and I'm going to return to my beloved later on, he said, the young man.
Peygamber eshabına döndü, beraber gidelim bu çocukla dedi.
And the Prophet, may Allah's peace be upon him, returned to his companions and said, "Let's go together to his house with this young man."
Ve hep beraber çıktılar.
They took to their way all together
O delikanlının evine vardılar.
and made it to the young man's house.
Resul Aleyhisselam dedi ki yastığı kaldırın dedi.
And the Prophet said, lift up that pillow.
Yastığı kaldırdılar.
They lifted the pillow.
Zehirli bir yılan oraya çöreklenmiş yatıyordu.
There was a dangerous snake lying curled up under the pillow.
Sonra peygamber yılana sordu.
And then the Prophet asked the snake,
Yılan konuşur mu diyeceksin değil mi?
well, the question is, do snakes speak or understand human conversation?
Dili konuşturan yılanı konuşturur.
But Allah, who is well capable of making a piece of meat that's within our mouths, our tongues, speak, is also very well capable of making snakes either understand, comprehend human conversation or make them speak.
Her şey konuşur kainatta.
Everything that exists within this universe,
Ağaçlar,
speaks.
taşlar,
Trees,
hayvanlar.
rocks, animals, they all do speak.
Anlamaya kulak gerek.
But an ear is required in order to understand their speech.
Baş kulağı olan değil, kalp kulağı olan anlar.
Not those ears that we have in each side of our heads, but the inner ear, the ear of our hearts. That is what is required.
İnsanın malik olduğu malı der ki kendisine, bana maliksin ama beni ebediyen götüremeyeceksin der.
Human possessions tell to their owners, now you have me, but you won't have me forever.
Hikaye geldi şimdi onu da anlatayım.
Well, we'll tell a story within a story.
İmam-ı Ali Haydar-ı Kerrar, İmam-ı Ali at üstünde gidiyordu.
The Lion of Allah, Imam Ali, the fourth caliph, was riding on his horse one day.
Bir adam gördü, ellerinde altın var. O altınları bir elinden bir eline, bir elinden bir eline aktarıyordu.
On his way, he saw a man with pieces of gold in his hands, and he was taking the gold from one hand, putting in the palm of the other, then vice versa.
Malik olduğu altınların sesleriyle zevkleniyordu.
He was extremely pleased listening to the music of gold pieces moving from one hand to the other.
Yani parayı seven için parayı saymak bir zevktir.
Like, for those who really love money, counting money is a great pleasure.
O da Malik olduğu altınları elinde şıkırdayarak onların sesinden zevk alıyordu.
He was listening to the music of gold in his hand and getting real excitement out of it.
Hazret Ali buyurdu, altınlar kimin dedi.
Hazret-i Ali asked the man, whose golds are these?
Benim ya imam dedi.
He said, they belong to me.
Hayır senin değil dedi.
But the Imam, Hazret-i Ali, said, no, they do not belong to you.
Evet, o altınlar senin değil. Mal sahipleri Allah'ın vekil harcı, fukara ise Allah'ın ayalidir.
We have to make one point here. People who possess worldly possessions are like proxies of Allah, and the poor people in need are like Allah's family.
Mal mülk kimsenin değildir.
The property does not belong to anyone.
Ancak bir mal sahibinin malını bekleyen gibidir.
A man who possesses worldly goods is like a guard who's keeping watch over someone else's property.
Çünkü mal mülk aslında Allah'ındır.
In truth, possessions, property actually belong to Allah and no one else.
Zenginler işte Allah'ın vekil harcı gibidir.
And in this fashion, the rich are like proxies, agents of Allah.
Fukara da Allah'ın ayali gibidir.
And the poor are like the family, a family that is to be supported, a family of Allah.
Allah diyor ki, bana ait olan malı, kasaları aç.
And Allah orders
Vekil harcına.
to his proxy, open these safe vaults that actually belong to me.
Ve ayalime ver benim.
And give them unto my family, my folk.
Seni vekil harç yaptığım gibi, seni bu vaziyeden azlederim, elinden malı alırım, başkasını vekil harç yaparım.
Just as I've given you the post of being my proxy, I can do the reverse and get rid of you and have someone else perform the act for my behalf to feed my folk.
Fakirler bir zaman zengindi.
The poor, once upon a time, were rich.
Zenginler de bir zaman fakirdi.
The rich, once upon a time, were poor.
Allah'ın vermesiyle almasıyla kimisi fakir oldu, kimi zengin oldu.
Allah giving and taking away, the roles have been reversed.
İmam Ali o zata hitap etti. O altınlar senin değil.
Hazret-i Ali keremallahu vecehu spoke to that man. The gold does not belong to you.
Vallahi benim ya imam dedi. Kazandım alnımın terinden dedi.
The man said, I swear to Allah that they belong to me. I earned them through the work of my hands.
Şimdi Allah senin ruhunu kabz ederse altınlar kimin olur dedi.
But Hazret-i Ali asked, what if Allah was to take away your soul at that very moment? To whom the gold will belong then?
Varislerime kalır dedi.
Well, my inheritors will inherit them.
Varislerin de ölürse ne olur dedi.
And Hazret Ali asked again, and when your inheritors die themselves, what will happen next?
Allah'ın olur dedi. Ortaya kalır dedi.
Well, I mean, they'll be left in the middle. They are Allah's property, the man said.
Ha, öyleyse dedi, istiyor musun altınlar senin olsun?
And then Hazret Ali asked, would you really like to possess them? The gold?
Allah yoluna sarf et.
Spend them in the way of Allah.
Açları doyur.
Feed the poor. Feed the hungry.
Çıplakları giydir.
Clothe the needy.
Ağlayanın gözyaşını sil.
Wipe the tears of those who cry.
Yetimleri güldür.
Make orphans smile.
O vakit mal senin olacak.
And then
Ebedi olacak ahiret aleminde.
then your property, your gold, will be yours forever, eternally.
İnsan verdiği malı hikaye anlatacağım. Unutma, merak etme.
I have not forgotten about the story. Don't worry.
Bırakmadım yarıda.
We haven't left it in the middle.
Bir gün İsa peygamber havariyunla gidiyorlardı.
One day, Jesus, the prophet, was walking with his apostles.
Allah İsa peygambere emretti.
Allah ordered Jesus, the prophet, aleyhisselam,
Şu bağa gir, bağdan üzüm koparın yiyin dedi.
enter this vineyard, gather grapes, and eat them.
Zira bir üzüm bağından geçiyorlardı.
They just happened to be crossing a vineyard.
Ya Rabbi bana bu bağ bana ait değil, nasıl girerim oraya? Gir, benim büyük bir ayetim var, onu göreceksin dedi.
Jesus asked, this vineyard does not belong to me, neither the grapes. How am I to enter and gather grapes? But Allah answered, enter and do as you have been told, because you will witness a great sign of mine.
Emri ilahi olunca girdiler ve üzümleri birer salkım üzüm aldılar.
In accordance with the divine injunction, they entered the vineyard and gathered a single bunch of grapes each.
O aralık bağ sahibi çıka geldi.
At that moment, the owner of the vineyard appeared on the scene.
Benim bağıma niye girdiniz, benim üzümümü niye kopardınız benim haberim olmadan diye bağırıyordu.
And he was screaming out, Lord, why have you entered my vineyard without having my permission first? And how come you're eating my grapes and so on?
Peygamber dedi ki, Cenab-ı Hak peygambere bahyetti. Şimdi dedi yapacağım şeyi gör, ibret ile kainata bir ayet olsun dedi. Bu bağ kimin diye sordu İsa peygamber.
And Allah revealed to Jesus the prophet, now watch and see what I'm going to do.
Benim malım dedi.
See so that it will be a lesson to the whole world. And according to the revelation, Jesus asked the man, to whom does this property belong? And the man answered, it belongs to me, it's mine.
Bu bağ senin değil dedi İsa peygamber.
Jesus said, this property, this vineyard does not belong to you.
Ve benim dedi.
The man insisted, it's mine.
Cenab-ı Hak o bağa o güne kadar kaç kişi malik oldu hepsini diriltti.
And at that moment, all the previous owners of the vineyard, from the beginning of time, from the beginning existence of vineyards, were revived, resurrected at that very spot, at that very moment.
O güne kadar o bağa malik olan ölüler dirildi ve birbirleri kavgaya başladılar. Bağ benim, bağ senin diye.
All the deceased ex-possessors of the vineyards, they were there arguing, disputing over the fact of ownership of the vineyard.
O bağ sahibi şaşırdı.
And the actual owner, the present owner, that is not an owner,
Bağ
was
benim,
surprised.
bağ benim diyordu. Fakat ona dedi ki biz seni tanımıyoruz, çık dışarıya dediler. Onu attılar dışarıya.
He was arguing that he was the actual proprietor, but the others said, we don't know you, get away. And they chased him away.
Ya, demek ki onun değilmiş. Hep dirilince
Well,
En sonraya kaldı o, en arkaya.
When everyone had been resurrected that had been a former possessor of the vineyard, I mean, it wasn't his thing, and he was the last person to possess it.
Malik olduğumuz malların sahipleri bir kalksa,
If the actual past owners of the goods, items that we possess, are to be revived,
bize hiçbir mal kalmaz.
nothing will be left to us. We wouldn't have anything in our hands. We would have the last say over the dispute.
Geçelim, söyleyelim.
Let's pass on.
Yani bir hikaye geldi, gene anlatacağım.
I've got another story on my mind. I have to tell it.
İstanbul'u fetheden Muhammed Han, Fatih Sultan Mehmet Han,
Mehmet II, the conqueror of Istanbul, ancient Constantinople,
at üstünde gidiyordu.
he was going on horseback one day.
Bir fakir çıktı önüne.
A poor man stood on his way,
Dur ya sultan dedi.
and he asked the Sultan to stop, to come to a halt.
Ben senin kardeşinim dedi.
He said, I'm your brother.
Nereden kardeşim oluyorsun dedi.
The Sultan asked, how come?
Annen mi benim babamı gördü, babam mı senin anneni gördü dedi.
Did your mother know my father, or did my father know your mother or something?
Değil de öyle değil dedi. Adem babamız değil mi?
The poor man said, oh, it's not in this fashion, sir. Isn't Adam the first man, our forefather, all?
Evet dedi babamız. Havva da annemiz değil mi?
And wasn't Eve our mother?
İbrahim babamız değil mi?
Wasn't Abraham our father?
İbrahim'in ailesi Hacer, Sare bizim annemiz değil mi?
And what about Sarah and Hagar, the Abraham's wives? Aren't they our mothers?
Dinde de kardeşiz dedi.
And we're brothers in religion as well.
Vatanda da kardeşiz.
And we're brothers nation-wise, country-wise.
Dedi padişah, evet doğrudur, hepsi doğru, kardeşimsin dedi.
The Sultan was affirming every statement the poor man had made. He said, all right, you are my brother.
Ama dedi sen padişahsın, ben fakirim. Sen milyonlarca altına, paraya sahipsin, ben garibim dedi. Kardeş böyle mi muamele var kardeşine?
The poor man said, is this brotherhood? You have millions. You got palaces, pieces of gold, jewelry.
Doğru söylüyorsun dedi.
The Sultan said, you're telling the truth.
Çıkardı, ona bir altın verdi.
And he took out a gold piece from his pocket and gave the piece of gold to the man.
O fakir baktı dedi, bu kadar altına maliksin, bana bir altın mı veriyorsun?
The poor man looked at the gold piece in his palm and he said, since you possess so much, is this all that you're going to give to me?
Evet, bir altın veriyorum dedi.
And the Sultan said, yes, I'm only giving you a single piece of gold.
Çok konuşma dedi.
He said, don't talk too much.
Öteki kardeşler de bunu duyarlarsa,
And the Sultan said, don't talk too much. If all our other brothers were to hear,
senin hesabına ne o altın düşer ne bana bu kadar para kalır dedi.
neither would I have all this property, nor would you have that single piece of gold in your hand.
Geçiyoruz. Yılana sordu peygamber.
Back to our initial story. The Prophet Muhammed Mustafa sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem asked the snake,
Biiznillah yılan konuştu.
with the permission of Allah, the snake answered.
Dedi ki buraya niye geldin dedi.
The Prophet asked, why have you come here to the snake?
Bana vahyolundu ki bu gece bu çocuğu ben vurup öldüreyim.
The snake said, it was revealed order to me that I was to sting and kill this young man here tonight.
Fakat dedi, etrafıma bir kale çevrildi benim. O kaleden dışarı ben çıkamadım, demir kaleden dışarıya.
I had an iron castle all around me, the snake continued, and I could not leave the boundaries so that I could sting this young man.
Peygamber sordu delikanlıya, sen ne gibi hayır yaptın dedi.
And then the Prophet turned to the young man and said, what good deed, what act of charity have you performed?
Dedi ki ya Resulallah, biliyorsunuz ki güve girildiği gece buraya süt konuluyor. Adetimiz süt koymaktır. O sütü içecektim, kapı çalındı. Bir fakir ben açım dedi. O fakire o sütü verdim dedi.
And the young man answered, O Messenger of Allah, you know, as it's customary here, we have a bowl of milk given to the bridegroom. I was about to drink it last night, and then there appeared a poor man at our door asking for something. I gave that bowl of milk to him, and he drank it.
İşte dedi, o verdiğin süt senin ölümüne mani oldu, kale oldu yılana. Sana zarar ilişmedi.
And then the prophet said, verily, the milk that you have given away has been converted into an iron castle around the snake so that it will not snake you. Thus, you saved your life.
Eshabına döndü, dedi ki, sadaka ve yardım belayı defeder, ömrü uzatılır dedi, görün dedi.
And then, on that spot, the prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, returned to his companions and said, see for yourselves that charity actually chases away trouble that's coming your way and extends your life.
Musa'nın eshabı Musa peygambere dediler ki, ya Musa Allah'a davet ediyoruz. Bir ziyafet edelim, Allah gelsin ziyafete. Sen Allah'tan konuşuyorsun.
The companions of Moses said to the prophet one day, since you talk to Allah, tell him to come over for a feast and we'll have a feast prepared for him.
Musa peygamber susun dedi, Allah yemez içmez.
Moses answered, this is not a thing to say. Allah does not eat or drink. He has no need for such things.
Ne beyinsiz adamlarsınız dedi.
You're definitely mindless people, he said.
Yemek içmek kullara mahsustur dedi.
Eating and drinking and such things are for Allah's servants only.
Allah bunlardan münezzehtir dedi.
Allah is aloof from such things. He has no need for them.
Ve Tur'a gittiği vakitte Cenab-ı Hak dedi ki Musa peygambere, kullarım beni davet etti. Bana niçin o davete haber vermiyorsun?
When Moses went up Mount Sinai, the following time, Allah spoke to him and said, my servants have invited me. Why didn't you tell me of it?
Dedi ya Rabbi senin her şeyi bilen sensin. Semada artta ne varsa her şeyi bilen ve gören sensin, işiten sensin dedi.
Moses said, oh Allah, oh my Lord, you are the one who hears and knows all that exists within this universe and all that happens.
Yemekten içmekten münezzehsin. Yaşlanmazsın, daima haysın, kayyumsun.
You are in no need of eating and drinking. You are everlasting, ever living. You do not grow old.
Evlattan, ayalden münezzehsin.
You don't have a family. You don't have children.
Uyumazsın.
You do not sleep.
Her şeye kadir sensin.
And you are powerful. You have power over everything.
Kalbimi de biliyorsun, ben haya ettim bunu sana söylemeye, zat-ı ilahiyeme söylemeye haya ettim.
You know what's in my heart? I felt ashamed to convey such a message to you.
Söyle kullarıma cuma akşamı onlara ziyafete geleceğim.
But Allah spoke to Moses again, go tell to my servants that Friday evening I will come and visit them and have a feast with them.
Geldi kavmine haber verdi. Hazırlanın dedi. Ziyafete davetiniz, Allah gelecek ziyafetinize. Hazırlayın hadi.
And Moses, upon returning to his people, said, well, you have invited Allah over to have a feast with you, and Friday evening he'll be here to eat with you.
Ve o akşam bütün kavim bayram yaptılar. Pilavlar, zerdeler, yemeklerin alalarını, etler pişirdiler.
And that night, the whole nation was celebrating. They prepared the best of food that they could.
Herkes yeni elbiselerini giydi, tıraş oldular, tarandılar.
Everyone shaved, combed their hair, put on their best clothes.
Tabii davetleri Allah, ziyafete geliyor.
Their guest was the Lord of the universes, coming to visit them.
Fakat o aralık herkes yollara bakıyor böyle. O aralık bir fakir çıka geldi.
Everyone was looking around in every direction to see who would be coming. And on the scene there appeared an old and poor man.
Ya Musa açım dedi.
And the old man came to Moses and he said, oh Moses, I am hungry.
Beni doyur dedi.
Feed me, he said.
Canım senin açlığın için mevzu basma, Allah gelecek ziyafete. Hadi git su getirsen de yardım et dedi şeylere.
And in the heat of the preparations, Moses just said to the man, your hunger is not that important. Allah is coming over to feast with us, so why don't you grab hold of a bucket and bring water so that you'll be helping the preparations?
Senin de yardım olsun diye Allah geliyor dedi ziyafete.
Well, you better help us. I mean, it's Allah that's coming to eat with us.
Onun eline bir kap verdi, suya gönderdi onu.
So they gave a bucket to him and he was chased away to fetch some water.
O suyu aldı geldi. Dedi ki ya Musa ben susuzum bana su ver.
The man brought the bucket full of water and he said, "Oh Moses, I am thirsty as well. Why don't you give me some water to drink?"
Dayanamıyorum açlıktan dedi. Şu yemeklerden bana yedir.
And I cannot bear hunger any longer. Why don't you give me something to eat?
Neyi anlamaz adamsın? Allah gelecek ziyafete. Sen şimdi ziyafete oturamazsın evvela dedi.
And Moses said, "Oh man, don't you understand anything? Allah, the Lord of the universe is coming over to eat with us. You cannot start your meal without him arriving first."
O aralık bir epey vakit geçmişti. Ortalık kararmıştı.
Well, it was sunset. It was getting late. And long time had passed actually.
Gelen giden yoktu.
There was no one coming
O adamdan başka.
except that man.
O fakirden başka gelen giden yoktu.
Except that humble poor man.
Ha. Ve münakaşa çıktı kavim arasında. Geldiler Peygamber Musa peygambere. Bu kadar masraf yaptırdın ziyafetin hani Allah gelecek gelmedi.
And the nation was outraged. They came up to Moses and said, "We spent so much money, time, food, wasted it all. And what is going to become of our efforts? Allah was to come here and he didn't show up."
Ve münakaşa büyüdü, birbirlerine girdi halk.
The dispute grew stronger and stronger. People were fighting each other.
Musa peygamber mahcup oldu.
Moses the prophet was embarrassed
Çünkü Allah gelmemişti o ziyafete.
because despite his promise, Allah had not made it to the
O
feast.
asabiyetle Tuğra gitti.
Really angry, so to speak, he climbed up Mount Sinai.
Ya Rabbi gelecektin gelmedin.
He said, "Oh Lord, you were to come, you promised to come, but you did not come."
Geldim dedi.
Allah answered, "I have come."
Açım dedim beni suya gönderdin.
I said, "I'm hungry, and you chased me away to fetch some water for you."
Susuzum dedin çeşmeye gönderdin.
I said I was thirsty. Instead of giving me water to drink, you sent me to the spring to fetch water for others.
Ve dedi ki işte eğer o fakiri doyursaydın beni doyurmuş olacaktın.
And Allah added, "If you were to feed that poor man, you would have fed me.
Onu sulasaydın beni sulamış olacaktın.
If you had given water to that thirsty, humble poor man, you would have been given water to me."
Ben de yemek içmekten münezzehim. Açları doyurursan beni doyurmuş olursun.
And Allah said, "I am, as you've said before, in no need of eating and drinking. But if you feed the poor, the humble, then you'll be feeding me."
Öylece fakirlere yapacağım yardımı Hakk'a yapıyorsun, Allah'a yapıyorsun.
In this way, people who give charity and help the poor are actually helping Allah.
Tabii bunu anlayana, aşina gönüllere söyledik, anlayana söyledik.
But all this that we've been telling was for people who would understand, hearts that can understand.
Sevdiğin malından seve seve, sevdiğinden seve seve fukaraya vereceksin hem de.
One should give from what one likes and lovingly.
O vakit sevdiğine nail olursun.
Then, if we give away what we love, then we are to reach the beloved.
Bir gün Cenab-ı Allah Musa peygambere dedi ki, ya Musa sana hazinemi göstereyim mi dedi.
And one day, Allah spoke to Moses and said to Moses, "Would you like to see my treasures?"
Göster ya Rabbi dedi.
Moses answered, "Show them to me."
Gösterdi Allah. Kokmuş yemekler, kokmuş etler, eskimiş olan ayakkabılar, yırtık pantolonlar, dikişli bunları gösterdi. Bunlar ya Rabbi senin hazinen mi? Benim hazinem dedi.
And to Moses, it was revealed the sight of rotten food, decaying food, torn pants, bad shoes, all sorts of junk.
Ya Rabbi nasıl iş bu dedi.
And Moses asked, "Oh Allah, is this really your treasure?" What Allah answered, "Yes, it is."
Allah dedi ki ben kullarıma yeni ayakkabı veririm, onlar bana eskisini verirler. Fukaraya veriyorlar yani.
And Allah said, "I give new shoes to my servants, and they give back old shoes to me." That is, give to the poor.
Ben onlara taze ekmek veririm, onlar benim rızam için kuru ekmek, bayat ekmek verirler.
I give them fresh bread, and they give, in return, stale bread.
Ben onlara yeni elbiseler veririm, onlar benim rızam için eski elbiseleri verirler.
And I give them new clothes, and to please me, they give old clothes torn,
O der hazinemde biriktiririm.
and I pile them up in my treasure.
Yarın kıyamet gününde benim rızam için yaptıkları hayırları onlara gösteririm.
And tomorrow, on the day of judgment, the last day of judgment, I will show them what they have done for us.
Allah der ki kıyamet gününde bir adama ben hasta oldum, beni niye yoklamadın? Ben açtım, beni niye doyurmadın? Ben sustum, bana niye su vermedin der.
Allah on the day of judgment will ask his servants, I was hungry, why did you not feed me? I was thirsty, why did you not give water to me? I was in rags, why did you not clothe me?
Der ki Allahü Teala bir hasta vardı, yoklasaydın beni orada bulacaktın.
In response to the surprise from the servant, Allah will answer, there was this sick man, you were to visit him and find me there.
Bir açı doyursaydın beni doyurmuş gibi olacaktın.
And if you had fed a hungry man, you would have been as feeding me.
Suza su verseydin beni sulamış gibi olacaktın.
And if you had given water to a thirsty man, it would have been as if you were giving water to me.
Öyleyse yapacağın hayır Allah'a verilecektir.
And then all charity goes to Allah, will be delivered over to Allah.
Hiç tereddüt etme.
Have no hesitations.
Seve seve sevdiğinden ver ki sevdiğine hayır olasın.
Give out of that which you love lovingly.